Hi, everyone. Welcome to Finding Your Flow in the Post-Pandemic World of Work. I'm Laura Schroeder. I'm a brand strategist and HR tech advisor. And today I'll be talking about the hidden costs of flow killers at work in terms of mental health and organizational performance, and how HR can lead the charge on minimizing distractions and improving flow across the business. So let's get started. First of all, what is flow? Give me just a moment while I put up my visual aid. Here we go. Flow is a very positive mental state. So you can imagine doing an activity where you're fully engaged in that activity, you're involved, you're energized, you're really enjoying that sense of flow. When we talk about how engaged employees work, we're actually describing a flow state. Now, we know that the modern workforce has a number of flow killers. For example, people spend about 5 hours a week waiting for information, for support, for approvals, and that can prevent them from progressing their work. More than 2/3 of employees and managers feel that they spend far too much time in meetings, not surprising, and this hurts their productivity. And it actually takes more than 23 minutes to refocus once you've been interrupted. So the interruption itself, it may be something very small, like responding to a message, could only take a couple of minutes, but it takes you 23 minutes to get back into the flow of work. So now for the big reveal of the largest flow killer of work. It probably will not surprise you to learn that it is busy work. But these numbers might be a little surprising, that workers actually spend 60% of their time doing work about work. And this includes things like replying to emails, attending unnecessary meetings, chasing colleagues for input, waiting for feedback and approvals, searching different files and documents for information, aggregating information from different systems into a PowerPoint or a spreadsheet into a particular format that someone in the organization needs ASAP. All of this is busy work, and interruptions and delays have a cumulative effect. So first there's a loss of focus and the 23 minutes it takes to refocus per interruption. This can have a knock-on effect of creating more delays and unwanted downtime. And all of this lost time has an opportunity cost, and you could calculate or approximate across the business what that's costing you in terms of time. Harder to quantify, but also concerning, is that it is demotivating to be delayed or prevented from making progress, and constant interruptions are quite exhausting. So from a mental health perspective, this is very concerning, especially with so many people working remotely. So now let's take a look at the role technology plays in all of this. Give me a moment while I switch my background. Here we go. Yes, it is red because I want to get your attention. This is a not complete list of the applications, the sorts of applications that an average employee or knowledge worker might interact with on a regular or even daily basis. As you can see, it's a lot, and this isn't even a complete list. Now, it turns out that the average employee changes solutions 1,100 times a day. 1,100 times. If we assume if we assume a 10-hour workday, that averages out to every 36 seconds they're switching applications. Now, how much quality work do you suppose happens in 36 seconds? So technology has been very instrumental in allowing us to digitalize processes and automate repetitive tasks, but it has had the unintended effect of turbocharging busy work, because now employees have all these different applications that they need to log on to. They have different UX, data is tracked in different places, workflow amongst the different solutions might be broken. So this has turbocharged busy work and not necessarily been so good for flow. So I've made my point. I'm going to put it something more soothing and not less red. And to those of us working remotely, very familiar. We all know what this looks like. Corona and remote work in particular have exacerbated this trend because, of course, we got more technology to enable us to meet and collaborate effectively. Now, on the one hand, remote work has had a positive impact on productivity because people spend all that, save all that time that they used to spend either commuting to the office or even getting dressed, putting on pants. So that time is saved and it can now be spent working. But what about flow? Flow is a little trickier because, first of all, for many people, they have as many distractions at home as they had at the office, perhaps even more. And additionally, 70% of employees surveyed experienced a dramatic increase in meetings once remote work commenced. There was a very interesting and concerning study at MIT which discovered that knowledge workers today spend 85% of their time at work in meetings. 85%. That's a lot of meetings. And this has resulted in lower productivity, lower satisfaction, and also less effective collaboration. When you're sitting in meetings 85% of the time, you do not have a whole lot of time to collaborate. Now, they continue to find the optimum number of meetings or time spent in meetings, and they concluded that if you can remove 60% of your meetings, and then, so that's, let's say, 3 no meeting days a week, replace them with more targeted communication and project management tools. This actually increases cooperation by 55%. And it also improves employee morale and mental well-being. So it's definitely worth considering those no meeting days. Another thing to bear in mind is that when you're meeting on a conferencing tool like Zoom, when you've got the camera on you all the time, turns out that this is very exhausting. It can lead to a state of online fatigue, and that resembles an early stage of burnout. So the upshot is that remote work has lots and lots going for it, but it doesn't necessarily improve flow. And we have an opportunity to rethink culture and leadership and how work gets done. When remote work was new, most companies took the path of least resistance. They took whatever they were doing before and moved it online with some new tools. It worked well enough and it got us over the hump, but people are tired and they're not necessarily able to do their best work because quality work requires focused attention. And this is a really important leadership and mental health topic for organizations. We can't eliminate meetings or eliminate distractions and interruptions. They come with the territory of work, but we can be smarter in our approach. We can control how much time we spend in meetings. We can control how much time we spend on busy work or switching between solutions. We can take steps to limit interruptions and improve flow across the business. Now, HR is the function that thinks critically about employee well-being, about engagement, and about performance. And flow is a critical ingredient for all three. So what can HR do to improve flow across the business? Well, I am glad you asked. There are 3 areas where HR can have a big impact. The first is creating organizational awareness of flow as a mental health, as a productivity topic with the executive team. Making sure that everyone understands that there's a cost to fire drills and there is a cost to having lots of applications that don't talk to each other. There is a cost to a sloppy meeting culture. There's a cost to multiple approval layers and making people wait. And to get the good information for this executive briefing, surveying employees to find out how many applications do you work with on a given day? How much time do you spend in meetings every week? Do you feel that you have time to do quality work, or do you feel like you're constantly interrupted? You might have a heat map across your organization where some parts of the business have better flow than others, but having this accurate picture is going to help you take appropriate measures. The next area is leadership development. Management and leadership skills have necessarily changed because work has shifted from most people sitting together to remote and hybrid teams. Not everyone has the right skills to do this effectively and successfully. So making sure that everyone in the business has time management skills and effective meeting management skills, making sure that those Zoom meetings are really punchy, they're short, they're efficient, the right people are there, there's an agenda, there's proper follow-up, and that the meeting actually needs to happen. Maybe there's a better way to communicate. And making sure that all leaders have the right skills to successfully lead remote and hybrid teams. And finally, in the area of work design, I'm not suggesting that HR design the work that happens in the different departments. What I am suggesting is that HR partner with IT and with business leaders, looking again at flow as an important productivity and mental health topic, and ensuring that across the business, tasks that can be automated, repetitive tasks, are automated. That's going to save people time and improve flow. This may require some new technology being adopted, making sure that technology and applications talk to each other. If you consider a very common workflow, like you've hired somebody and you need a laptop for them. So you order the laptop, it goes through however many cycles of approval are required. The laptop gets ordered, it goes to IT to be configured, and then it gets delivered to the employee or the employee workstation. Very basic, happens every day in thousands of organizations. Making sure that workflows like these are seamless, that nobody has to chase anything. Because if you think about it, this workflow, this one little workflow is going across different desks and different tools and different parts of the business. Eliminating breaks in that workflow is going to improve flow. The next area is optimizing the timing of business processes. Now, we love one size fits all. We love to do everything at the same time. Finance wants their budgeting process at a particular time. HR wants the performance cycle to kick off across the business at the same time. I get it, but there are times in the business for different teams that don't work well. So end of quarter for sales, for example, that may not be the best time for sales leaders to give the performance cycle the attention that it deserves. So really partnering with business leaders to figure out the best timing for these kinds of business processes. And finally, evolving our thinking from workflow, which is very, very important, to what Josh Berzin calls flow of work. As a manager, I log on to an HR solution to approve a vacation, and then I log on to a finance solution to approve an expense. But that's not where I do my work. I don't work in these solutions. I do my work in other applications. It might be Teams, or it might be Slack, or it might be email. That's where I'm doing my work. So why can't those tasks come to me where I am? That'll save me that break in flow where I have to log off and log on somewhere else to complete an activity or find a piece of information. So that concludes my content. I will just add as a summary, we have enough distractions in the world of work and in the workplace. We can't remove all of them, but we can be smarter and more intentional about how we work and how we use technology at work. Thank you for listening. If you'd like a copy of the full presentation, which includes the research that I've cited during the presentation, feel free to reach out. I'll put that up, the title of the presentation one more time. Thank you for listening and have a great day.